backgrounds, what's going on? Today I wanted to dive into the idea of opening decks. Yeah, I mean, if you're following my YouTube, you've noticed I have been opening a deck every day, looking at it, analyzing it, coming to a decision, and I wanted to kind of explore the process of that with this week's Key Thought. So, because I'm doing my now annual Advent calendar starting in December, going to December 24th, the 1st to the 24th, 24 decks. This year I'm doing 12 Mass Mutation, 4 Coda, 4 Worlds Collide, 4 AOA. And it's been a fun process because I'm opening up a deck. I'm not going over the actual stats in the video of what it possesses in terms of Ember control, board control, all those disruption, efficiency, like how it's going to generate Ember, the things I normally do to kind of get an idea of how it will play. I'm kind of just looking at the deck from the cards themselves and what I see, what I like, how I think it's going to work together. Does it seem good just based on the cards I'm looking at? So it's a different process than what I normally do. I really like it. It's a little bit more to the point. And I've also noticed that after I do this, I'm kind of passing a judgment on what I think the deck is going to be like. Is it a good deck? Is it a decent deck? Is it trash? Like, all these things are going through my mind as I'm analyzing it. And then, of course, afterwards, I'm going on to scan the deck, put it into DoK, and then see how that goes. And I'm very fascinated with DoK for a lot of reasons. If you've heard me talk about it, sometimes I fall on either side of the fence. Sometimes I think DoK is great. Sometimes I don't think it's a great thing. I'm always back and forth with it. But ultimately, the truth is DoK is neither bad nor good. What SAS does, it's not good and it's not bad. It is a tool. And this has been used, this analogy has obviously been said many times. I've even said it many times. But at the end of the day, just remember it's a tool. And a tool is only as good as how you use it. So how you choose to interpret that tool, how you choose to utilize it, is it going to be the end all be all for how you decide what a deck is going to be? That's up to you. But I've really enjoyed this process of where I'm actually analyzing the deck fully within my own mind. And in this case, I'm documenting it for my YouTube. And then I'm taking a look and seeing how it stacks up. And it's really interesting to see the correlation, the difference, all those sort of things. And I think it's a good exercise to do. So before just getting a deck and scanning it and throwing it into DoK and seeing what it says, spend some time yourself trying to decide what that deck means, what that deck does. Obviously, if this is a deck that you're not going to take the foil off of and you're just going to scan it and put in your master vault that way, I find that digital means of analyzing doesn't work for me personally. I like to be able to flip through the cards, count things, see things, pull sections of things together, group cards together to see how they look. So I find that's a little bit more advantageous when analyzing. And of course, some of you may not want to do that to keep it sealed for the secondary market. So it's just understandable. But going through this process, it just made me realize that DoK is a great thing to have, and you use it responsibly in a way that makes sense for you. It does not mean that what it says is true, because we all know KeyForge is a game of playtesting, but it does allow for this ability to have kind of a secondary opinion on your initial thoughts. Maybe there's something you overlooked. You're going to see probably a stat that's in Ember control or maybe board control. You're like, I didn't see it that low, or wow, that's way higher than I was looking at it. Because for those of you who don't know, when I go for my stats, I actually count the number of cards that will create that ability to utilize that metric. So Ember control, it's not how much Ember control it has, it's does this card do some form of Ember control. If it's 1 Ember, if it's 6, it doesn't matter. It's like, how many opportunities will I have in the deck to draw upon something that will potentially help me take my opponent off check. That's plain and simple how I look at the cards. Same with board control. How many cards do I have that are going to be able to damage a creature, do damage to a creature, or even wipe the board? A board wipe and a 1 damage card, or like a 2 damage card like Mug, they have the same value in terms of it's a card that will do that thing. Because sometimes if you have creatures that are fighting, you need that 1 or 2 extra damage to put it over the edge to really kill a creature. So these are all things that I take into account when I do my own personal system. I'm curious of how you look at decks. Do you just scan them and go into DoK and see what it does? Do you completely avoid DoK? how do you go about analyzing it? If you want more on this topic, listen to the Help from Future Self episode that will be coming out Thursday. I also know Call of Discovery actually interviewed Nathan, who is the creator of Decks of KeyForge and SAS. And so there's lots of information there. I have not listened to that episode yet. I wanted to do this video first, but I'm going to be doing that as soon as I get off here before we record our Help from Future Self episode for this week. And I think DoK is such a interesting thing to talk about because it is very unique within the world of KeyForge, and it has become, I would say, for probably most people, an integral part of how they utilize the game. Regardless of whether you think it's accurate or not, you still look at it. It could be just for secondary market purposes even, never mind the rating system. But I just found that really interesting, and Alex and I, aka Scuzzy, are going to dive into this idea further. But I just wanted to give my initial thoughts right now on this platform, and I'm curious about yours. So please comment below and be sure to check out that episode Thursday. And of course, I'll put a link to the Call of Discovery's episode in as well. So if you want to see more and have a little more insight before going into our episode on Thursday, that'd be awesome. My guys, Ed and Zach, are the truest, so please support them as well. And as always, everyone, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forced properly. Have a good one.